testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep, all sounds good. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekamek. This is Final Fantasy Dawntrail. Yes, Ibuki has been camping out in Van Fatale's lounge this entire time. That month that we spent doing all the role quests. Go figure. And for our usual wind-up stuff, maybe we'll get lucky and queue into this immediately because... oh yeah, this will be our time waster. So apparently the soundtrack for this was just given to them. He said, here's a song, do with it whatever you want. And they basically built the whole stream series building up to Everything Burns.
Never had a choice. Never let the upswing calm them nerves go.
I don't need to main tank.
When there ain't no stopping, only one option. Light it up.
This isn't the Lindworm's boss theme. This is the Warrior of Light's boss theme.
The president must pay for his crimes. Give him what for, champion. Is this the power of the mythical Lindworm? His arm is slithering out! Oh, that's disgusting! Watch out! That is one cruel coil! Once again, they slip beyond their opponent's reach.
I'm still not sure if I've accidentally desynced double down from my No Mercy window. That's kind of concerning.
Another attack evaded with a block. His arms are snaking round the ring. What's he planning?
And there goes the Venus.
Oh no! The gore has latched onto the champion! Don't panic!
And both tanks are trying to keep whoever gets scratched a little
They've
alive.
been struck with venom, but they can weather it. They must.
And there goes several DPS. And they let Danger Zone slip out, or no, Blasting Zone. Danger Zone is the previous tier.
The battle is decided! Victory goes to the champion! What the? Could the Lindworm's regeneration be out of control? The Lindworm's completely healed! What outrageous regenerative power! Regenerative capacity.
Okay, I don't actually need any of this, so I might as well pass and then leave. But alright, enough camping out on Van Fatale's couch. I really should look up where all the locations of every one of the Arcadian fighters are so we can talk to them one by one, but as it is, we have to go speak to Guluja in the back room. Oh right, nostalgia here unlocks one of the level 100 dungeons. Nostalgia breathes a sigh of relief at the sight of you. Kabuki, I've been looking all over for you. Apologies for the lack of pleasantries, but there's precious little time to spare. A curious anomaly has wormed its way into living memory. We fear it could pose a terrible threat if left alone. Please, you must help us. Wonderful. Oblivion is lucky to count you among its allies. Let's reconvene at the Gate of Remembrance then. I can explain more there. Oh, fair warning, you may not be able to recognize me at first glance. Yeah, into the back room. Ah, you came for the funeral. Of course, I'm the only one who will officially take part though. The others will watch over the proceedings. So, how have you been? It's been a while since my last visit. I'm good. Sheo is always teaching me new things. Recently, I've learned about the Everkeep systems and the mechanical soldiers. It's knowledge I'll need to use my authority properly. Studious as always, I see. By the way of a treat, I've brought you a gâteau au chocolat. It's a kind of cake. I think you'll like it. Thank you, Lamachi, and thank you for coming here. I've never been to a funeral before, so I feel less nervous having you here. Out of curiosity, what's the custom in Alexandria? In our world, it's common to offer flowers to the departed. It's much the same here, according to the records. Flowers will be distributed to all attendees. Considering that all the worlds used to be one, the practice of offering flowers may well share the same ancient origin. Fascinating, wouldn't you say? We added Gulu Jaja to the Unending Codex and Tural, and the right of succession. Although I've been in the back room before, there was no time to see the sights. I should like to take a closer look at the equipment. It's a relief to see young Guluja is doing well. He's been through too much for one so young. Papa always said he didn't want a somber funeral, so we celebrated his life together with our victory. I'm sure he would have loved it. I like to think he was watching us from the world beyond, filling his cup every time we filled our own. For the people to take it on themselves to organize and hold the funeral, it speaks to their enduring love for Sphene. While we proposed the funeral, the royal administration took on the brunt of the planning. One of their number can better explain what the ceremony will entail. Guluja wishes to go and collect his flower for the funeral. The flowers are being handed out at Praxis Park. I'm thinking of heading over there now. We'll join you. There's a man I'd like to speak with, Gossen. He was apparently Sphene's aide and the one who sent us the invitation. Come on, let's go. So I know that there's basically a trial for every update. You're going to get into a trial-based fight, but off the top of my head, I'm not 100% certain which one this one it will be, and when it'll be. I'll probably remember better when we get closer to it. Right, we can't do any more of the Hildebrand stuff until we actually get to the dungeon. probably need to sell those or something. Oh hey, Lindworm Calm card. All correspondence was handled by the Wing of the Reflection, so this is my first time speaking with Gossen. Judging from all the activity, I presume the funeral will be held here. Well, it appears souls are still being issued. Supply must be limited now that they're no longer being harvested. The grim faces in the queue tell the tale. It makes sense that Sphene had loyal aides such as Gossen, given how much time she dedicated to walking among her people. Wuklamat's attendance will surely help strengthen relations between the two nations. I get the strong impression that both Tuliolo and Alexandria wish to put this tragic past behind them. Here he is, Gossen! Why, I'm Val Wuklamat of Tuliolo. Thank you for extending us an invitation to Queen Sphene's funeral. We are honored, truly. I had seen you before from a distance, but never had the pleasure. I am Gossen, former chief aide to the Queen. Since her passing, I've been responsible for administrating affairs of state. Can we get our flowers here? Yes, Your Majesty. The flowers are being handed out at the counter yonder, alongside the regulators. What? We need to wear regulators for the funeral? Rest assured they aren't a requirement. We're aware your people do not use them. You see, people in Alexandria of old wore tokens of mourning upon their persons when attending funerals. As such tokens were black, it was suggested we might wear regulators painted the same color. We've yet to produce enough for everyone, but we're distributing them as we are able. I see. Yet, regulator or no, the important thing is that we remember Queen Sphene. Remember her and her kindness as you make an offering of your flower. I feel. The proceedings will soon begin in this plaza. Please take your place once you have your flower.
Although we are gathered here for the same reason, we hail from different lands. Some were born and raised in the Alexandria of old, while others came to us from Tuliolal. It was from this union of diverse peoples that a new Alexandria was born. The only home that our younger generation knows. How did we overcome the barriers between us? What moved us to join hands in common purpose beneath crackling skies? You know the answer. We survived. We thrived because Queen Sphene brought us together. Inspired and encouraged by her boundless kindness, we strove to be better, for ourselves as well as those around us. And in Her Majesty's absence, there is a sadness beyond words. Yet we must. We will remember her. Remember all the good that she has done for us. So let us pray, as the people of the Old Kingdom once did, for the peaceful repose of the departed. And let us keep our beloved Queen forever in our hearts, that her memory might guide us unto the morrow. Would that I could find solace in my own words.
Was Queen Sphene taken to the cloud?
She must have been. To still remember her is strange, isn't it, darling?
I miss her. She would always cheer me up when I was down. But even though I remember her, I'll never see her again. That doesn't make sense.
It seems that's what it means to die, I'm afraid.
But what will happen to us? Are we just going to be sad forever?
It's got to be a real shock to the system to suddenly have death reintroduced into your life.
What will happen indeed? Everything that we have, we owe to Queen Sphene. How are we to go on without her?
I still remember Her Majesty so clearly. If only I didn't, I might feel better about the future of our realm.
Perhaps we should also consider moving to Tuliolol. The journey won't be easy, but it'd be better than staying here in uncertainty.
In times like these, I take comfort in the beliefs of a Turali people called the Yokui. To them, death isn't the end. So long as we're remembered, we never truly die. it could be the same for Queen Sveen, you know? If you keep her alive in your hearts, she'll always be with you.
But we still won't be able to see her, right? I don't want to think about that. I wish I could just forget instead of having to feel like this.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to impose. Please, mourn your queen however you see fit. As expected, they struggle to come to terms with their loss. I hope they can find a way to move forward.
It's not only grief that weighs on them, but worry for the future. Bereft of their queen, how will they proceed?
True. But with that at least, we're not powerless to help. What is it, Guloja?
I was wondering, is it better to remember or forget someone when they're dead? I remember my father, and every time I think of him, it hurts. It's the same with Queen Sveen. Knowing that she's gone makes me feel sad. But it's different with my mother. I never knew her, so I don't feel as bad. I want to remember my father, but maybe I'd be better off forgetting him.
Guloja.
Why don't we continue this somewhere else?
I hope the altar can provide comfort to those who need it. Seeing that child reminded me of myself, of how hard it was for me to accept that grandfather was gone. But that sadness is what gave me the strength to come this far. I would never choose to forget it. Never. Simply leaving Alexandria won't solve all the problems I fear. The problem runs deeper than that. This seems like a good place to continue our conversation. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. Hey Guloja, do you really know nothing at all about your mother? Shale searched the system for information on residents, but only the Mamoja she found listed were my father and me. Even if she died and was erased from people's memories, she should have been there, but she wasn't. Well, that means that you're here means she was here too, inside the dome. There can't be any other way about it. Do you want to know your mother? I think so. Even if it makes me feel sad, I want to know her. So I want to try looking again, and if I don't find anything this time, I'm giving up. I see. Well, if that's what you want. Then I'll help you. I'd like to help as well, and I believe I speak for the others too. but I can't bother you with this. You already came for the funeral. We came here not only for the funeral, but to see whether all was well in Alexandria. We're not about to leave just yet. Besides, in seeking to learn about your mother, we're bound to learn about your father as well. By retracing the steps of this man who kept his own counsel, we may gain knowledge that can serve the people of Alexandria. Alright, thank you everyone. Graha Tia has an idea on how you may proceed with your investigation. Assuming neither memories nor records of Gulujar's mother remain, we must cast as wide a net as possible. I suggest we split into groups. Ibuki, if you could make inquiries in the outskirts, the rest of us will do the same in Solution 9. I wonder if you went about looking, you could actually meet them in Solution 9. Ha ha ha, there you are. I trust you've recovered from the shock of my initial proposal. Good, good. Now let me explain what this is about. I am a researcher for Oblivion, namely in the field of electro engineering. During Zorulja's reign, I survived within the ranks of his army by helping to research and develop protective materials. One of my many projects were these indomitable dummies, and as their name implies, their durability is second to none. They were used to measure the offensive potential of an entire arsenal of weapons to great effect. But now Zorulja is no more, and peace has returned to our home. A preferable outcome, of course, but that does mean my masterworks have been left to rust. And that is an affront to science I cannot forgive. Peace may demand we set down our weapons, but the march of progress must go on. And so I grant you, who seem to possess might equal to an entire squadron of hardened troops, access to the Spire of Trial. Of course, I am more than willing to make adjustments as befits the magnitude of your power. As a woman of science, I can think of no greater honor than to have you testing the limits of my creations. You've given me purpose and you, Ibuki. I'll be here testing and improving the dummies when able, so you're welcome to stop by any time, if only to gaze upon my indomitable beauties. You now have access to the Spire of Trial, an expansion of stone, sky, and sea. This training ground can be accessed by speaking with the eccentric researcher in Heritage Found. It's basically a DPS checker. You set it to a specific boss fight and it'll tell you whether in 3 minutes your damage rotation is good enough to have beaten it or not. Sorry, but I've never heard of a Mammojar woman living in these parts, much less one connected to Zorulja. You might have better luck talking to the people about the Tonawatan settlement to the north of Etherbuki, in a place called Yuweyawata. The resilient son won their loyalty when he saved them from some crisis or another. Or so the story goes. If I remember correctly, their chief's name was Kaniloka. Your exchange with the middle-aged Tonawata has taught you about the Zorulja's devoted. A Mammojar woman? Their people have never been a common sight around here. Why, the last time I saw one would have been before the dome came down over our heads. She was among an entourage of Landsguard that was dispatched here. I assume they all returned to Tuliala after their mission. But if any of us remained, I suppose they could have been trapped in here with the rest of us. Your exchange with the chatty Shatona has taught you about a Mammojar woman. You're looking for a Mamoja woman? Oh, Guluja's mother. I can't help you there, I'm afraid. I only know a little about Zoroja, and then only what my father told me. He said that before the dome cut us off, the Tural Vidral had appeared and was terrorizing the region. In response, Zoroja assembled a party of warriors and with them confronted and felled the beast. It was interesting to hear of the king's feat in the past. Wait. A Tural Vidral had appeared and was terrorizing... Is he talking about the level 74 trial? Your exchange with the fresh-faced Tonawata has taught you about a battle with a Tural Vidral. Report your findings to Shale in the back room. Head into the back room. Guluja has told me all. We've previously tried to track down records of his mother, but came up empty-handed. With everyone's help, hopefully we can get somewhere this time. I spoke with quite a few different people as well. Let's combine all our findings and see what conclusions we might draw. So, Zoroja brought a retinue of Landsguard to Yaslani, among whom was a female Mamoja. His mission was to rid the region of a Tural Vidral, and I believe it is safe to say that that was the crisis in Yuweyawata he resolved. If some of his troops stuck around for a time, perhaps to assist the villagers with recovery efforts, then they could have indeed gotten trapped in the dome. We also heard stories about the settlement in Yuweyawata. People lived there until nearly a decade ago, and Zoroja made regular visits. If he required secrecy, the location home to his most loyal followers would be most ideal, and if this Mamoja woman had remained there, they would have had good occasion to come into contact. I see, but what could Zoroja have been doing in that village? I think we can answer that question. In order to retrace Zoroja's steps, Raha and I spoke with a researcher who worked at Origenics. He said that approximately 20 years ago, a number of his colleagues were transferred to a research facility outside Everkeep, per the King's direct order. This is the first I'm hearing of such a facility. Only Vanguard was believed to have been under the King's jurisdiction. It was apparently being used to develop a new kind of weapon, but I'm afraid that was all we could learn. It's plenty to go on. Even if the work there was classified, any materials and equipment needed would have been manufactured within Everkeep. So if we look into transportation records... there it is. The routes are full of detours and attempts at obfuscation, but large deliveries were being made to Yuweyawata. Far too large for a mere village. There hasn't been any activity for years though. It's likely the facility has been decommissioned. Do you think that's where my mother was? We can't say for certain just yet, but I reckon there's a good chance. This is amazing. Even though no one remembers her, you managed to figure out all this? You managed to figure all this out. Each piece of the puzzle may reveal a little on its own, but when you put several together, a picture begins to form. And even should memories fade, footprints remain to mark the path of those who walked before. A lesson I learned in another life. So we'll be investigating this secret facility in Yuweyawata then. And this time I want you to come along, Guluja. Yuweyawata is on the other side of the lake. To get there you need to take a hover cargo from the drift downs. Alright, thank you, Shale. Oh boy, back to the drift downs. Oh, Dancing Green. Hey, baby. Oh, it's you. Look, it don't matter to tell anyone you found me here getting all misty-eyed, alright? My party image couldn't survive the blow. Truth is, I grew up around here. Whenever I feel overwhelmed or lost, I come back and think of the old days when I've gathered up debris and dream up silly dreams. Huh. I don't see any others around here. So the hover cargo will take us across the lake. I've never been over there before. It's still inside the dome, so I don't expect it to be too different from here. We'll likely encounter dangerous beasts, so the rest of us will go first. You follow when it's safe to do so, alright? Alright, be careful everyone! Yuweyawata Field Station now accessible. We've seen the havoc that Valley Commander wreaked on Neurocorpaca. I wonder what this other Toral Vidral might have left in its wake. So it's definitely not us then. If the facility was used to research new weaponry, then it will have had tight security. Even if it has been closed down, let us proceed with caution. I can't help but be reminded of our foray into orogenics, and of Cathquea. Don't worry about me, I'm good at hiding from beasts. No, we already talked to Alphino. While I alone haven't seen much of the dome, I am no stranger to braving the unknown. I will not slow us down. I promised to look after Guluja, but I've hardly spent any time with him. I'm going to make up for that. Enter with a party of NPCs. Who do we want to take? I guess it's already decided for us. Alphino heals, Wuklama and Cryo are the DPS. Yuweyawata Field Station, Dawntrail. My father must have come here for a reason. The lightning hasn't lit up here either. There are beasts here too. Even the creatures are electrified. I honestly do not remember this fight, it's been so long. What's it doing? Is it consuming the ether? Uh-oh. It's infusing the rocks with ether! Throws the rock over there. Electrode emerges from the ground. Easy Vin. You are a credit to your title, Vow of Resolve. So the facility is here. What kind of research did they do here? Mad science, most likely. While His Majesty Zorojai is not the first to conceive of transferring a beast's soul into a person's body, safety and ethical concerns have ensured no earnest attempts have been made to date. Yet our king believes that there is no greater evil than to hinder the potential of man, and so he has ordered us to make this conception a reality. He would bolster our military might and break through into the outside world. If our research will further this ambition, then perhaps it is worth pursuing. What are those? I'm gonna take the fights a touch slower now so that we can check out all the text logs. Our bodies are fragile vessels. Although the infusion of another person's soul confers strength and vitality, the soul of a beast yields mixed results. Even when stripped of memories, a feral soul can induce psychological instability in the subject. I suspect this is because the primal instincts remain, and while a certain amount of bestial ferocity is expected, and I dare say welcomed, too many such souls can lead to physical mutations. For now, our objective shall be to determine the threshold at which a body is at risk of uncontrollable mutation. Oh, zombies. These are people, right? They're moving! happened here? Yeah, that's a valid reaction. The rate of transfiguration may be dictated by the potency of the soul consumed. We've experimented with fiends of great power, but mutations were observed after the infusion of merely a single soul. No better was this phenomenon illustrated than with poor Atticus. His body was altered irreparably, and he lost all capacity for rational thought. While the primary objective of this research was to utilize the soul of a Tural Vidral, I struggle to see a path forward. An alternative approach must be considered. Doing here? If the source of our failures thus far has been the inability of our bodies to contain feral souls, what if we were to reverse the process by purging a beast of its memories and infusing it with a man's soul, one still possessed of its own memories? We stand to gain absolute control of a vessel of great power. My subordinate who first proposed this brilliant hypothesis have the honor of being the first to transcend our meager limits. I must prepare his soul for extraction at once! Overseer, Kenny Loka. I have a bad feeling about this. There's something unsettling about the ether here. You surrender your souls to King Zoroja. Come forth, my dear souls! I won't let precious samples escape. guard the flesh, extract the soul. I can't move. Why not serve a greater purpose? The king's resolved his purpose. Relinquish your souls for the glory of Alexandria! That we could tame the beast, but the seal is already. The seal? The beast? What was he talking about? If he keeps going, so should we. Can you look at Corpus? Is that a storm? I can hardly believe my eyes. That roar? Did it come from inside the storm? Tural Vidral, Lunipiati. I mean, it looks an awful lot like the Proto-Carbuncle rather, but whatever. We'll go kill it. I think I know what awaits us. Has that thing been sealed away all this time? Tural Vidral, no doubt about it. This one has a very interesting mechanic we'll see about midway through the fight. Raging Claw. Leperine Lope. Something moves beneath us. Like giant earthworms. Patience will be victory! Get out of that area. Oh dear. That doesn't look good. Spread out! He's up to something. On your guard! So, this is a very unique concept. Ring in. I can't even see the bottom. Nope, too late. He's already dead. guess we could keep going after this. We've still got some investigating to do after all.
For all the talk of my brother felling this beast, he only imprisoned it, like Vali Armanda.
From what I could tell, they sought to transfer people's souls and memories into bestial vessels at that facility. The Tural Vidral explains the need for a remote location. It was doubtless their prime subject.
It's still breathing. I don't think it's dead.
Though I expect Zeralja did not foresee the opportunities it presented when he imprisoned the creature.
And so, in order to prevent the breakdown of the individual, I instead seek to transfer their soul into the body of the beast.
This would allow one to wield the power of a Tural Vidral.
In theory, our initial experiments will involve lesser creatures. But in time, I am confident we will be able to bring even the mightiest under our control.
And what becomes of those who offer their souls?
As they won't be able to return to their original forms, we must consider them lost. But the sacrifice will be worthwhile, for the army you stand to gain will far surpass any composed of mechanical soldiers.
Very well. Recruit volunteers and begin at once.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I shall return to the observatory and see to the necessary preparations.
So, you've given him permission?
Teshalja, you will assist Kaniloka. As one of the Land's Guard's finest chirurgeons, your knowledge may be of use in his experiments. You will also watch him closely. In what you learn, you will report to me. You object to his project? Or are you incapable of performing this duty?
No, Your Majesty. Whether we shelter within the dome or expand beyond it, we require great power. But with no one to rely upon, we must take that power for ourselves, even if the means are questionable. I will do as you command. But if Kaniloka's work bears fruit, I wish to beg a boon.
What do you desire?
Something that I had accepted I would never have in Tuliyollal. That I believed would forever be beyond me. That it was foolish to covet. But here and now, it is close. So very, very close.
Perform your duty to my satisfaction, and anything you desire is yours. That which I seek does not lie within this dome. Here, I cannot prove the miracle. But if what you seek is at hand, then you may claim it, for it has no value to me.
Are you all right?
Hhetso. Could she be my mother?
Like the people in the outskirts said, few Mamulja lived in the Yasulani. I can't imagine many other Ubigo women were trapped in the dome. That being the case, she could well be the one.
This observatory Kanaloka returned to, could it not be part of the research facility? We might learn something about Hhetso there.
That's where we're going next then.
Now that the danger is behind us, it's starting to sink in just how unsettling this place is. Hard to believe it used to be a village. It seems this Kaniloka was in charge here. From your recounting, she was quite dedicated to Zoroja. Oh, he was. The villagers were likely monitoring the imprisoned Turav the Drow at Zoroja's behest, and at some point they became involved in the research of souls. That you should be able to peer into the Turav the Drow's past. I wonder what that implies for the beast's consciousness while it was sealed away. Hhetso, you'll say her name was. I wonder what her story is. I wish I could see into the past like you. Then I could see the people who are gone. Because there aren't any other Mamulja women here. For a long time I couldn't even imagine what my mother looked like. But when I visited Tuliolo and saw some, I was finally able to picture it in my mind. And one day, I hope I can see what she actually looked like as well. I guess he plans on picking up the Echo as well. You may now enter Yuweyawata field station with a party of NPC avatars. Krau is eager to begin searching the research facility. While we've discerned the purpose of the research conducted here, the traces of it that remain might afford us greater insight into what came of it. Let us take a look around for information as well as a way to the upper level. Gotta keep your eyes open for anything that might be clickable. What happened to the people here? Did they all leave, or did we already meet them? To think that people actually volunteered their souls for these experiments. Success was far from guaranteed, and even in the best case they would cease to be men. Was their devotion to Zoroja so absolute? It won't open, and I don't think it'll yield to our shoulders either. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way and find the key. The lift can be seen beyond the wrought iron gate. As sturdy as it appears, the gate will likely resist attempts to force it open. The security panel is nearby. Perhaps a verification key will open the way. I wonder what Beck Luke would make of this research into transferring souls. They'd probably be mortified. The researchers likely moved between the upper and lower levels. Perhaps we can find a key among their belongings. It makes me angry to think about what they did here. They're recruiting volunteers for a new experiment. I know I'm not as bright as the others, but they wouldn't laugh at me if I was stronger than them. This may be my chance. Soul transferred a few days ago. I can write. Good, yes. I am good, very good. Getting hard to control strength. Today bit off hand of feeder. Cannot help it, so strong. Hungry. Always hungry. Cannot control. Eat. I must eat. Am eater. Must eat. You find nothing that resembles a verification key. Perhaps you should search elsewhere. Supplies for the staff are neatly arranged within the cabinet. Among the various items is a manual outlining regulations and tranquilizing gas to be used in emergencies. You dig deeper. Can't find a verification key. Perhaps it can be used to open the gate. Oh, we didn't get to explore the north area. Whoops. You found the key? Great, I'll call the others. It seems the key can be used to operate the lift as well. Up we go. So, this is the observatory. I didn't expect it to be similar, but this is a far cry from the temple that held Valigamanda. All the machinery appears to still be in operation. I expect there are auxiliary systems in place to ensure that monitoring can continue, even in emergencies. The warnings indicate various anomalies related to the seal's failure, most likely. For a blessing, we managed to fell the beast before it could cause harm. Right then, let's see if we can find some clues about Guluja's mother. I think I can use this terminal. Shale taught me how. There's so much data, I don't know what we should look at. Perhaps we can narrow down the search by inputting the name Tishuja. It's a good thing that we know how to spell it, even though we only heard it verbally. It brought up a lot of results. They all seem to say the same thing. Tishuja Administrative Experimental Treatments Research Logs. This sounds good, doesn't it? Chances are the data is encrypted, and even if not, it will take considerable time to go through it all. Then let us take it to the back room and have Shale analyze it. Agreed. Alright, I'll transfer it to this storage device I brought. There, it's finished! Thank you so much for bringing me all the way here, everyone. If you're happy, then so am I. Besides, I was able to learn out more about my brother as well. It was a fruitful adventure for the both of us. And here we are. The authorities will doubtless wish to be informed about the facility and its contents. But first things first, let us deliver the data to Hhetso. Alright, I did say I was going to have a look at it, so I might as well do some work with unlocking the Alliance raid. I won't do it, I won't queue up for it, but I will unlock it. This Hubigo messenger is looking for a well-travelled adventurer. Say, aren't you a bookie? That certainly saved me a lot of trouble. I was asked to find you on behalf of Mililja. Curious things happened abound in Mamook of late. We thought one with your worldly experience may be able to help us make sense of things. If you have the time and inclination to aid us, she awaits you in Mamook. You'll find her west of the plaza, in the large building near the two-headed statue. Thank you for coming. Truth be told, I was unsure if it was right to call on you, but the troubles we now face cannot be overcome with our strength alone. It all began when we found a fallen traveler in the Skydeep Cenote. For mercy, his wounds were not life-threatening. His kind is not common in sight in these lands, tall and slender of build, with pointed ears. He has yet to waken, but speaks in his sleep of strange things that make little sense to us. It was our hope he might recognize something in his ramblings, or perhaps even jog his memory once he regains consciousness. Might you be willing to speak with him? Mililja, the traveler stirs. Very good, if you would be so kind as to bring him here. We are glad to see you awake and in good health besides. Might I ask your name, traveler? My name? More amnesia. I'm sorry, I can't remember. It would seem the fall has affected his memory. In any case, his presence here is a complete mystery to us. His armor the only hint as to whence he came. Does anything about him strike you as out of the ordinary? He's an Elezen. No one ever plays Elezen. Not much different from any other Elezen I've met, or would that be Eldite? cousin, Eldite? No, that's not quite right. I remember, I'm an Elven adventurer. And your Mamulja, could it be I've come to Mamook? Wait, if I'm in Mamook, then I must have been taken prisoner. To so readily believe us enemies, perhaps he comes from a land unfamiliar with our customs, across the salt. Maybe he came from Alexandria? With no way to know for certain, in which case... Milelja, we must gather our strongest fighters at once. Why? What's happened? Gulujaja's shade has returned. It's been sighted near Grok Direct Descent. Bakuljaja has engaged the apparition, but I fear the worst. The vow of Resolve's companion from the feet of the Brotherhood. I suspect you would understand the graveness of this situation better than most. In recent days, the late Dawn Servant's shade has been seen wandering the woods of Yaktel. I have reason to believe it was invoked in like manner to the one used in the feat. Only a privileged few of the Bunawa should be privy to the knowledge required to perform the rite. The culprit will be found in time, but with a more pressing matter at hand right now. I must hurry and inform the Landsguard. Bakuljaja requires reinforcements. The Dawn Servant's shade. I fear he may not hold out until the guard assembles. I'm loath to ask such favor, but would you aid Bakuljaja in this battle? I'm in your debt. Grok Direct Descent is to the west of here. Please go and help my son. Gulujaja? I was wondering why I had the Gatherer's stealth. No, I think that's just a visual effect tied to this specific mount. I haven't somehow cross-classed into getting into Botanist. Pathetic that you dare call yourselves blessed siblings. Not bad. You might actually prove a challenge. If you've come to help, best stay on your guard. He's not alone. What an insufferable looking brat. What's this? Another monster in need of slaying? Don't worry, I'll send him packing. Here I go. Nullifying dropkick. Oh no you don't. I can't explain, but something told me I had to be here. Huh, not bad at all. But it'll take more than a couple of Tory to stop me. Tory? Are you daft, girl? You can speak. Shame you don't seem to have any manners. The name's Prish. You'd do well to remember it. Prish? Ha! Looks like I win. One Taurus down, one to go. I hope you're ready. At ease, Prish. We've seen to our task. Come. Whatever you say, Omiya. It's a shame that I've never played Final Fantasy XI, otherwise I'd understand what's going on here. Omiya? What is he talking about? Prish, wait! Please don't go! Too late, she's already gone. I'm guessing the word of the Dawn Servant's shade is what brought you here. Although I don't know what that girl has to do with all this, but clearly she's aligned with whoever summoned them. The way remains open, though there's no telling where it leads. Even so, they can't be allowed to return. We've a duty to protect this forest. I'll not see it torn apart by some two-headed imposter. Let's hurry after them, brother. Watch over that one, won't you? Prish, what's happened to you? Everything's still hazy, but I recall fighting alongside that girl. We were comrades in arms, I think. But something was clearly wrong with her. She not only mistook me for a monster, but she called her two-headed companion Omiya. The Omiya I know is an elven woman, a far cry from the reptilian fiend we encountered. Something dark has taken a hold of her, clouded her mind. I have to go and... You're not going anywhere with those wounds. But she needs me. You would go in my stead? I know not how to thank you. I recognize that look. The eyes of a woman who's seen more than their fair share of battle. Despite what Prish has done, she was a dear friend to me. I'm fairly certain. Have care, friend. There's no telling what lies beyond that portal. Juno, the first walk now accessible. Something to queue up for the next stream, but not to do this stream. I think they've had enough time to catch up Shale. We can go visit them and wrap out the stream relatively soon. I'd say about 15 minutes. Yeah, into the back room. Well, I'm not talking to you to make conversation, I can say that much. You found information on Gulaja's mother. You will never cease to amaze. Having now spent some time in these harsh environs, I have a better understanding of how much of a steadying presence Fiend was to her people. Gulaja had no trouble keeping up during the outing. He really is his father's son. From what I can see, things haven't changed much since the funeral. People are still listless like before. It was Shale who gave me the storage device before we left. She said we'd probably need it. And we did! I've been thinking it may behoove us to learn how to use the various devices we've found throughout Alexandria. Better late than never, after all. The data will be in good hands with Shale. Welcome back. Gulaja has already given me the storage device. There looks to be a wealth of data, all of which is encrypted, so I'll need time to process everything. In that case, Alize and I might take ourselves around the city and check on the people. Aye, the mood has us worried a bit. I don't know if there's anything we can do to help, but we'll see. Understood, I'll let you know as soon as I've finished my work. Thank you, we'll see you again soon. So what do we do? Geode's concern is writ plain upon his face. Alize isn't wrong, the mood out there is still grim. Some of the Turali remember a time before they were dependent on the Sol system, but even they're unsettled and wondering aloud if they'll have a chance to reunite with old families and friends before they pass on. With good reason too, the journey home won't be an easy one for those who've grown old. That's why it's been mostly younger folk who've been leaving for Tural, ones with no elders to care for. Word of that problem reached us in Tuliolo. My brother is doing all he can to see the Zaktural Railroad restored to operation so that people may come and grow more freely. Unfortunately, the tracks only go as far as Vanguard, so some travelling by foot will still be necessary. Even so, the railroad will make things a sight easier. How long before it's back in service? I couldn't say. When I left for this visit, Koana seemed reluctant to make promises. But while Shale's working on the data, we could go and see the state of it for ourselves. To Shaloni Station then. I'll make sure to keep Koana informed. Raha and I will keep an eye on things here in your absence. Say hello to Koana for me! Let us know if there's good news or concerning the railroad. We can disseminate it through our network and hopefully put some minds at ease. You'll have plenty of time while I work on this, trust me. I would be astonished if they were able to restore railroad service so quickly. The locomotive was nigh obliterated in its collision with the dome. Now, here's the question. If I look at the map right around now... No, we still haven't done enough to unlock the Hildebrand quests. So... I know that the thing that they've been waiting for was for us to unlock that laboratory, because that's where they're going to do the investigation for where Hildebrand went. But I guess it wants us to clear out more of the main story to get to that point. Anyway, show us Otherworldly Springs. Something like that. Vow resolve, and Ibuki me to boot. What can I do for you? We're hoping for some good news about the railroad. There's an increasing number of people looking to return to Toral that can't make the journey on foot. I see. As it so happens, the Vow of Reason is also on his way here to take stock of the situation. Scratch the on his way. Oh no. This is exactly what Ibuki would say though. Did our little Bun finally outgrow his old clothes? Stop that. As well you know, my previous attire was that of a gleaner. I have chosen a different path. It was time for a change. You'll hear about the railroad too? It was in part for my sake that the original Dawnblazer was sacrificed, so I felt it only right that I assist with its replacement. Speaking of which... I assume Lamachi has explained the growing urgency of the need. What have you to report? The new locomotive was on track for completion, but we're having difficulty pulling her into the station, in a matter of speaking. You see, when we used the Dawnblazer to get into the dome, urgency outweighed all other considerations, but now we're back to our original problem. How to run the railroad without upsetting the inhabitants of Hhetso. That is the Ronik. Though the Hetsaro who followed them are none too pleased about their Hhetso being spooked by the noise of the locomotive either. The solution I've devised to quieten the railroad should address that complaint. But a silent train presents a different danger. The Ronik will need to be deterred from wandering across the tracks. And I suppose we can't just blow the whistle at them, or they'll panic and be put off their grazing again. Weren't the rail routes plotted to avoid the Ronik's preferred grazing areas, though? It's odd that they were getting so close in the first place. The Ronik's grazing patterns have shifted since the tracks were laid. I am not certain why, but I intend to ask the people of Hhetso for their insight. As a major proponent of the railroad, I have a duty to assist in this matter. I too would hear what the Hetsaro have to say about it. They're the ones who most affected, after all. I believe it would be best to begin by consulting their leader, Hwato. The rest of you can accompany us to the Hetsaro encampment if you like. Like Ibuki's gonna just sit around waiting for you to get back. Maybe that's the other thing that we're waiting on. Maybe we have to get the train back up and running first. Yuweyawata, vow of reason, is it not? I can scarce believe it. Our prior visit to Hhetso was also in railroad business. Pray they do not take us for train enthusiasts. As committed as the Hhetso are to tradition, they are amenable to the unfamiliar, or so am I told. To think all of this can be packed up at a moment's notice to follow wherever the runic lead. Vow of resolve, vow of reason, I bid you welcome to our camp, but what brings you all the way to the Hhetso? And I thank you for seeing us. Our visit concerns the matter of the Dawntrail Railroad. You too have noticed the Ronik's unexpected change in behavior then. My son, Hhetso, has been looking into this matter. Hhetso? Normally, we'd expect the Ronik to keep to their favored grounds nearby for a while yet. And despite a thorough search, we haven't found anything wrong with the quantity or quality of the grazing in Parioanan and Yuweyawata. Yet they refuse to keep to where they usually would, instead pushing westward toward your railroad. I can certainly see no cause for this unseasonal migration. Nevertheless, should they continue to move west, we will follow. As any true Hhetso would, I suppose. Remember, he was abandoned by his parents who were Hhetso. As you may have surmised, I am of Hhetso descent. My parents traveled with the Ronik as well, though I myself have no memory of the experience. I was left behind as a babe during such migration, one of many sacrifices necessitated by a nomadic lifestyle, I'm forced to assume. It's not like he's being passive-aggressive or anything, right? A chance encounter with a kind Pelu merchant was the only reason I survived. Taking pity on me, he taught me his trade that I might fend for myself. I became a storekeeper in Tuliolo's markets, and that is where the Dawntrail event found and adopted me. I had already been in the palace some time when Lamachi came to join us. Like me, she had been cast aside by her parents. I knew the pain of solitude and wanted to spare her that suffering. As this tiny child's new brother, I swore I would always be there for her. Sure, just trauma dump all over these complete strangers. Truly, I have never heard of the Ronik choosing a path so arduous it would force such a terrible decision. Nor any Hhetso willingly leaving their own flesh and blood behind. There must have been some exceptional circumstance. I cannot say the idea of following in their footsteps that I may be there to make excuses for their actions never much appealed for me. Even if it might help you better understand the Ronik's current behavior? As so is often the case, you are correct. Though my discomfort with the Hhetso may arise out from fear of reopening old wounds rather than blind further for innovation, it would nevertheless let me see me repeat past mistakes. And to refuse to learn one of our country's treasured traditions would make me a poor Dawntrail servant indeed. Please, teach me of the Ronik and what they mean to you. I promise to listen with an open mind. We would be delighted. In the meantime, your companions are welcome to look around. Will you learn of Hhetso culture with me? I should like to approach this with the fervent curiosity that you and my sister share, but it would be useful to know whether I am doing it correctly. Then it's settled. You'll learn more of the Ronik and we'll have a look around the plains. Perhaps in the process we'll find the answers we seek. something to tackle next week. We're going to solve this mystery of why the Ronique are going out of season. So, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.